Hello everyone and welcome to the second video of this channel. Yes, I promise I'm not gonna be doing this like from now on. This is the second one. It's good enough. I'm not gonna do 3, 4, 5,
2,000 years later.
6, 7, 8. So, this video, I wanted to talk to you about 11 Labs. I wanted to start with the basics. This is pretty much it, okay? So 11 Labs is really good. Have you ever thought about creating your own podcast? Recently, I've actually been thinking about creating my own podcast, but this will be with my friends.
I have many friends. Many friends.
In this case, if you want to create like a podcast for your own, or if you don't have any friends,
I have many friends,
and you want to, create your own podcast, this is a good idea. Or just in case you don't have like a microphone, a camera, some light, a studio.
2 hours later.
This thing is quite expensive, to be honest. So anyways, I decided to create a sample of like a podcast, like just a section to use as an example. So in this case, you can create something out of your brain or your mind. But if you're a bit lazy, and you want to use ChatGPT as well, is up to you. No problem whatsoever. You can do that. So just for the purpose of this particular episode, I decided to use ChatGPT. So without further ado, let's dive into it. And I want to show you, this is the interface from 11 Labs. And here on the side, there are a lot of things that this tool does. Let's not get really into it now because I want to focus on the podcast. But on the main page, when you go towards the podcast, you can see a few things on your screen. Yes, you can create an audiobook here as well. You can create something from scratch that the 11 Labs will help you with it. You can create an article and you can obviously create a podcast. So when you decide to create your own podcast, you can click on here and 11 Labs will allow you to upload your own file. So if you have a PDF, in this case, like I do, if you have a TXT or something that you want to upload to it, you can do that. And then also here, you can pick which voice you want to use. So in this case, Jessica and Chris, I quite like their voices, so I'm gonna start with that. In fact, I've already uploaded one of the PDF files that I've created, so we can kind of move a little bit faster today than the last time. So here it is. This is the podcast I created. As you can see, there's quite a lot of stuff in here. It's about 5 to 6 minutes section. And something I would like to show you is just underneath me here on the right hand side. So here you can again change the voice. So if you don't like Chris for any reason, you can pick up someone else and then you can go through the voices. Let's go with Eric.
Gratitude is riches, complaint is poverty.
That's
Ideas
Matilda.
are the beginning points of all fortunes.
And on the right as well, 11 Labs tell you like what kind of a voice they're more into. So some of them are narration, some of them are conversational, some of them are news. So you can vary according as well to what your podcast is all about. So here we go. So in this section, you can kind of tweak as well a little bit of how do you want them to sound. So when you click here, you have some sliders for stability, similarity, and style exaggeration. And then obviously you have the speaker boost. You can leave it on because that helps a lot. But as you can see, sometimes what I like to do is to decrease the stability quite a bit, because that gives a more natural kind of a way for the AI to manipulate the voice, so it gives a little bit more flexibility to the module. And the style exaggeration, the style exaggeration as well, which I think it helps as well to kind of give a more natural vibe to it. So this is kind of what I like to do. Let's save this. And let's go to, when we go down here, this is Jessica, and then you can do the same. For her, I can also exaggerate a little bit more and decrease the stability, so we get a bit more of an inflection, of pauses and things like that. So in this case, once it's all set, when you're happy, when you're ready to go, what you have to do is go to convert, and then on the top of the screen, you're going to go convert, and then you're going to start doing, 11 Labs will start doing its own thing to generate the podcast for you. So let's go for it, and let's have a look. How long does it take? I'll just let it do its thing. Oh, it will tell you how many credits you're going to spend. Oh, let me put it again. How many credits you're going to spend. So that's a good thing. So you know how much credit you're spending. Let's do that. Let's convert and see how long it takes. Normally, it doesn't seem to take long, to be honest. Normally, it takes up to like a minute, 2 minutes. I think it really depends on your Wi-Fi, on your connection. So it doesn't really take long.
2 very boring minutes later.
If you think about like doing your own podcast, if you feel like buying a light, buying a studio, or even if you don't want to show your face, if you don't want to be online, sometimes you just want to do stuff. This could be like a source of income, even if you want to do that. But sometimes you just don't want to, show your face. You don't want to people, I don't know, you're a bit shy. This could be something for you if you think like that. But also, if you on a budget, this is also something for you, because you can generate your ideas and you are not actually trapped into just doing, with your face, or renting a studio, or inviting friends along to do that. So you can also do that. And there's also another thing that I would like to say, that you can clone your voice, and you can use your own voice then to do the same podcast. So it's still kind of you, but not you really, because you're cloning your voice. But anyways, let's have a listen to the podcast and see how it goes.
Artificial intelligence just composed a hit song that fooled millions into thinking it was Drake and The Weeknd. And that's just the beginning of how AI is completely transforming human creativity.
That's such a fascinating example, because it really shows both the incredible potential and the ethical challenges we're facing. How do you see this changing the creative landscape?
Well, it's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it. According to recent studies, AI-generated content has increased by over 400% in just the last year. We're seeing everything from novels to paintings being created by machines.
And what's really interesting is how it's affecting different creative fields differently. Like in film production, they're using AI to cut post-production time by nearly 60%.
You know what's wild? I was reading that in gaming. AI is now generating entire virtual worlds.
You see how the inflections works? Sometimes it doesn't work perfectly, but do you see how the inflections work? Those little changes in tones, in questions, in pauses, they're all to do with those sliders that I've previously mentioned to you guys.
That would have taken design teams months to create manually. The latest estimates suggest this could save gaming companies up to $50 million per major release.
That's exactly the kind of efficiency that's changing everything. But let me play devil's advocate here. What happens to all the human creators in this equation?
Well, that's where it gets interesting. Studies show that rather than replacing jobs, AI is creating new roles. Like, there's been a 300% increase in positions for AI creative consultants and prompt engineers in the last 6 months alone.
Oh, wow, I hadn't heard those numbers. So it's more about adaptation than replacement?
It sounds so natural, doesn't it? It sounds like you're actually, if you stop thinking that this is AI, you actually get involved in the information, and you just forget this is like a bunch of robots talking to you and writing the flipping text. So it's insane. It's crazy.
Exactly. And here's something surprising. Companies using AI in their creative processes are reporting a 40% increase in human productivity. It's not about replacing creativity, it's about enhancing it.
Speaking of enhancement, I've been experimenting with some of these tools. The results are pretty remarkable when you know how to use them effectively.
You know what's fascinating? A recent survey showed that 78% of professional creators who initially resisted AI tools are now using them regularly. But, and this is key, they're using them as enhancement tools, not replacements.
That makes so much sense. And from what I understand, the quality of AI-generated content improves dramatically when there's human curation involved.
Right, like in music production where AI can generate thousands of melodies, but it takes a human producer to recognize which ones actually resonate emotionally. The hit rate is about 1 in 500 without human input, but jumps to 1 in 10 with expert curation.
That's such a crucial point about the human element. How do you see this human-AI collaboration evolving?
Well, industry experts are predicting that by 2025, about 75% of creative content will involve some form of AI assistance, but, and this is crucial, less than 5% will be purely AI generated.
How the inflection for, and this is crucial, like in between an information. This is insane. This is insane. You just about to forget that this is a robot. This is crazy.
It's becoming more like having a really sophisticated creative partner.
And I imagine this partnership looks different across various creative fields?
Absolutely right. Take architecture, for example. AI can now generate thousands of possible building designs based on specific parameters, but architects are using this to explore options they might never have considered, not to replace their design process.
That reminds me of how visual artists are using AI, not just for generation, but for inspiration and ideation.
You know what's interesting? A recent study showed that when artists use AI as part of their creative process, they actually produce 60% more original work because they're spending less time on technical aspects and more time on conceptual innovation.
Those numbers are fascinating. Though I wonder about the quality versus quantity aspect.
Well, here's something surprising. Blind tests show that audiences actually can't reliably distinguish between human-only and AI-assisted creative works. The key difference is in production time. AI-assisted projects are completed roughly 40% faster.
So it's really about efficiency and expanding creative possibilities rather than replacement.
Exactly. And looking ahead, experts predict that by 2030, the most successful creators will be those who can effectively collaborate with AI while maintaining their unique human perspective. It's not about resistance anymore, it's about adaptation.
That's such a powerful way to look at it. Any final thoughts on where this is all heading?
Well, if current trends continue, we're looking at a future where AI handles the technical heavy lifting, allowing human creators to focus on the elements that machines can't replicate: emotion, context, and meaning. And that's really what creativity is all about, isn't it? Thanks for joining us on Gen FM, and we'll see you next time.
My gosh, this is insane, right? So this is to give you a perspective, you know, like this is the future. This is where we're going towards. And this is not to be used as a bad thing. Even the AI knows. It's to save time with the boring things. It's to save time with things that you can't do. It's to save time with things that could be a barrier for you. So if renting a studio is a barrier, if buying a camera is a barrier, if having a computer is a barrier, if having a key light is a barrier, doesn't matter. Like you still have your phone, you can type on your phone, you can go to 11 Labs on your phone, and then you can create a podcast. It's all to do and release your creativity. And this is a new era that we're living on, and this is fantastic for that opens up to the new generation and to the old generation that is into it a lot of new possibilities and things that we can now create. Maybe you're not, a sound engineer, maybe you're not a good video maker, but you can create a podcast, you can create videos with AI, with the help of AI, for things that you couldn't do before on your own. And this is what the channel is all about. Guys, I have a great idea for the next time, which is cloning your voice, because then you can do the podcast for yourself. You can type and then you can use your own voice to create your own podcast, and you can record your friends' voices if they allow you to do the same thing. So you all have a conversation, you all have a podcast, but you don't actually have to be there. You can all send your thoughts on WhatsApp or iMessage, and then you create the podcast on your own home, and then you released online, Spotify, YouTube, you name it. Okay, but this is something for the next episode. So please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Comment down below whichever kind of a new tool, new AI, or something that you're interested on related to AI or production or something to do with that in technology. And who knows, maybe next time I can show you how to clone your own voice for audiobooks or for your own podcast or for whatever thing you want to do on YouTube or elsewhere. Thank you very much. Stay tuned, stay safe. See you next time. Bye.